Meathead, 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 the meathead, meathead, the meathead, the meathead, meathead, the meathead, 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 meathead. You are a meathead. And meathead, dead from the neck up. Meathead.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Dr. Nasser Sheikh Show. I'm your humble host, Dr. Nasser, the doctor of the democracy, the MD of the Republic, and have we got a show for you? It is the a-hole of the day. That's right, folks. Who is the a-hole of the day? And as you saw before, with our one of our favorite clips, Archie Bunker telling the meathead, Rob Reiner, that he's a meathead, dead from the neck up. And not only is Bob a meathead, but he's also that part of the meathead that is the a-hole of the day. And we'll sort of go into why that is, but this is a person that is a part of obviously the Democratic establishment, the Democratic Party establishment. He is part of the entire alphabet news network cabal. Whenever they need something to go against President Trump, who they call this a-hole, Rob Reiner. They call the meathead out, and then he just basically puts out his narrative, puts out the rhetoric, and the verbal diarrhea from this a-hole just continues to spew forth. Let's take a look and see. I'll show you what I mean here. This guy, you talk about, out there, crazy loco. This is one such fool. Let's just take a look here, folks. I mean, he's blaming the attack on Paul Pelosi, and all the facts aren't in. And the SPD, the SFSP, the San Francisco Police Department, they're going to be covering up for the Pelosi's. Come on, man. They're in their back pockets. They're in their front pockets. They're in every one of their pockets. We're not going to get the true story. They just federalized this whole criminal case. So now they can control the narrative. They can let out what they want. They can leak what they want. This is supposedly, we're talking about the third most powerful person in the whole world, third most powerful person in America. After the president, vice president, Nancy's, oh my God, the Speaker of the House, Nancy, drunk Pelosi, this one, she's third in line. Oh my God. And you're talking about what? Where the closed circuit television cameras, they're all over her building. They're all over the neighborhood. And this guy's spouting out that somehow it's Donald Trump, that because he was challenging the election in 2020, that this is what's going on. Here's something. Let's show you this. Go down here. Look at what it says. The violent assault on Paul Pelosi and the attempted murder speak to the relation of that lie, the Oscar-nominated director wrote. As a result, he says, Donald Trump is what? He's 100% responsible for this in January 6th, and he must be indicted, and he must never be allowed to hold office. This guy is absolutely nutso. Now, here's a response that was given by Professor, I think it's Gad Saad, and he says, it is impossible to imagine someone who's truly bewildering, with all due respect, of course. I would have said something in there in terms of that, I don't know what you mean by that. All due respect. Why are you giving this guy respect? That doesn't mean anything. There shouldn't be any respect given to this person at all. Why are we giving him respect? Come on. That's just not the way things should work around here. Anyways, he says, the only lie that I've seen, he goes on to say, is the Russian collusion that you've been spreading for 6 years. This is by commentator Tim Young. Now, here's another thing. Guess what? Larry Alex Taunton, he said, everybody knows. Is this the new Jesse Smollett, folks? Is this the new Jesse Smollett hoax? Obviously something happened. There was violence that occurred, but they're trying to make this thing out to be that this is some right-wing lunatic, MAGA Donald Trump, conservative, Republican guy that's just all the way, Republican conservative. And we know that's not the truth. MAGA country, that's where we're saying San Francisco is. San Francisco is MAGA country. This is ridiculous. And they identified, obviously, as if you don't know by now, the attacker is supposedly a friend of Paul Pelosi's. And the story is just going crazier and crazier and crazier by the minute. But here, once again, you've got Rob Reiner and his acolytes in Hollywood, and they are flush with ideas. They are flush with getting the narrative out, talking about, that it is Trump. It is a violence of the right. It is the extremists. It's those January Sixers. Oh, yeah, those January Sixers, they still haven't learned their lesson. They're still out there. I would like to know, where was Rob the a-hole meathead Reiner when Judge Kavanaugh, the attempted assassination? How about on the baseball field when Representative Steve Scalise was gunned down, shot bullets at basically, survived, but it took him a long time to go through those painful surgeries. Why is it only that when something happens to somebody on the left, a progressive, a Democrat, a leftist, a Marxist, a socialist, a communist, why does that all of a sudden render, you know why it does? Because that's where the Twitterverse will not know more, because Elon Musk, thank God that he's taken over Twitter. But you know what? The others are still out there. Facebook, um, all the legacy media, the DNC, the alphabet networks, all of them, MSLSD, what I call the delusional network, they all end up carrying the water. They're basically carrying bucket loads and bucket loads of verbal and media diarrhea that they continue to spew out in that narrative. And I just want to go, now here's the talking about, this has supposedly drawn the attention to the issue of soaring crime, because obviously now that it's happened to one of the elites of the Democratic Party. So now it's a situation where we have to take a look at our soft on crime policies. Now look at this. Senator Amy Klobuchar, the Democrat from Minnesota, this moron is blaming it again on MAGA extremists. And again, as I said before, trying to attempt to connect this thing to the January 6th. And these weren't riots, folks. These were January 6th peaceful protests that was going on here. Now, what about Joe Brandon? How about President Brandon? What did he say? He said that it's reported, and this is a quote now from our leader, Brandon, it's reported that the same chant was used by this guy that they have in custody that was used on January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. I'm not making this up, Brandon said. This is reported. I can't guarantee it. I can tell you what's being reported, he continued. The chant was, "Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy?" Now, the police, though, they have reported that the 911 dispatchers that there was a hemp jewelry maker. Oh, it's just a hemp jewelry maker. Man, this guy is a weirdo, folks, an absolute weirdo. And they're basically saying that he's known for posting conspiracy theories. Supposedly, he's a friend of Pelosi. I would like to know, how is it that one of the wealthiest men in America, one of the wealthiest families in America, how do you have friends like this who are hippie, hipsters, nudists? That's what this guy is. This guy is living in a shack, and the neighbors around him are scared of the place that this guy lives in and the people that go into this place, because they say it's just a bunch of people are going in for drugs. People are scared about this. Now, Michael Schellenberger, he's reporting that, people are saying it's really weird to see that they're willing to be so aggressive towards somebody else who is also a lefty. I always thought that, the left and the progressive are supposed to be, hey, come on, it's cash. It's cashless, man. No, we don't need any bail. People don't have money. They're hurting out there. You commit, armed robbery, you commit a rape, you commit, any kind of a misdemeanor, you commit any type of, heinous crime. Well, guess what? If it doesn't rise to the level we think is painful for the victim, you know what? You're out on bail that day, you're out free without any bail. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. He also goes to report, and I've talked about this before in my other videos. This is where a MAGA person lives. No self-respecting MAGA person would ever want to live like this. What are you talking about? This guy was he was a hippie, a druggie, a nudist. This guy officiated at the wedding of his previous lover, who was getting married to somebody else back in 2013. And then his ex-lover and husband were getting married in the nude out in front of City Hall. He was officiating the meeting and tape recording it. I don't know what for. And, his ex-lover and her husband, they got arrested and taken off to jail because they got married in the nude. I mean, that nothing strange about that. MAGA people do that all the time. There's a ton of closet nudists out there in MAGA country, folks. Oh, here's what we're talking about here. DePape shares 2 children with Taub, who was in a romantic relationship with the pro-nudist activist before she married someone else. In fact, I said before, he served as the best man at Taub's nude wedding, which led to her arrest. So as we go back and forth, talking about something else. How come Rob Reiner? Hey, Rob, why aren't you talking about this flag that's here? Huh? This is a gay pride flag. And I know that it's not in the picture, but you'll see it if you Google this thing up here. There's hemp leaves over in this corner over here, marijuana and hemp leaves all over here. You take a look at this picture. Then the sign there, it says, guess what? It says, Berkeley Students United Against Hate. Then above in this window, if you take a look at, and I just don't have that picture here, it says Black Lives Matter. And look at this here. 9/11 was an inside job. I mean, this is the place where this guy lived, folks. This is where he lived. And then a sticker on the van read, "Ain't no sunshine until capitalism's gone. Oh, there ain't no sunshine until capitalism's gone." This guy, I'm telling you what, folks, you have got to give. If there isn't an a-hole of the day that's there every day, an a-hole of the week every week, an a-hole of the month every month, an a-hole of the year every year, an a-hole for the rest of his life, it is none other than the meathead, Rob Reiner. Your a-hole of the day. Brought to you by the Dr. Nasser Shake Show, folks. Thanks for watching and listening. Hope you subscribe. Take a look at our other videos that we have. I've got a video that I just put up there. Guess what? Paul Pelosi just got hammered. And the police, guess what? He just got hammered, folks. That's right. And there's no foul play of any intoxication at all. We don't know, but check out that video. Check out another video I have on Meghan Markle, in terms of, the oral sex story, the oral sex video that's out there that you see on 9010210. And also check out my videos that we have on all of the latest midterm elections coming up. I'm putting more up of those each and every single day. I believe there's 8 days left until the election. So once again, I'm your humble host, the Doctor of the Democracy, your MD for the Republic, hopefully giving you pain-free and prescription-free analysis and news of the day. Hope you subscribe, like, share our video, hit the notification bell, and I'll leave you with, as I always do, folks, and that is, when you're right, and when you're left, you're wrong. That's right, meathead, you're wrong, and you're still an a-hole.